All right, I'll say good day to you this day of your time. We will begin this transmission by reminding each and every one of you that the title of this transmission is This Transmission Has No Title. Now, we will explain why it is this way a little bit later on. But let us begin with the information that we intend to deliver this day. We are talking about the concept of randomness and synchronicity and perfect timing. Let us begin with this description. Most of you have seen the following effect. When you see a wheel on one of your cars spinning, or when you see one of your airplane propellers turning, when it reaches a certain rate of spin, a certain frequency, you start to notice a particular kind of illusion, where when it is spinning fast enough at a certain rate, it starts to appear as if the blades or the spokes begin to stand still, and sometimes even appear to be turning backwards from the way you know that the propeller or wheel is actually turning. This can serve as an analogy for the idea of how, when you shift billions of times per second through different frames of different parallel realities, you can equate this shifting to the spinning of these wheels, these blades, and because it is shifting very rapidly, spinning very rapidly, it sort of sets up a kind of random scenario where, like one of your wheels of chance, you never are quite sure where it's going to land. But the idea is that as it spins, as you shift, even though it may present itself in a variety of ways to make it appear as if the spokes and the blades are either frozen or moving backwards or taking on a different kind of spin rate other than the rate you know that the wheel or blades are actually turning at, you can use this analogy in the following way. By combining this randomness of spin, this rate of spin, this frequency of spin or shifting, and combining it with your frequency, it will determine exactly how you will perceive the spokes or the blades, at what particular point in its rotation they will appear to you. So the idea is that by altering your own frequency state, your state of being, it will determine exactly where you see the spokes, where you see the blades in their rotation. This is kind of a three-dimensional holographic idea where you get to determine exactly what it is you are perceiving by knowing that this shifting rate, this spinning rate in front of you, gives you all sorts of opportunities to see the spokes in different positions. And it is a good analogy for the idea that you cannot perceive what you're not the vibration of first. Whatever position the spokes or blades seem to be in is absolutely reflective and precisely reflective of exactly the combination of the rate of change in the spin or the shifting and the frequency rate that you yourself are projecting by your state of being. So, everything, in a sense, is presented to you randomly for your ability, your opportunity to decide, to choose where you see the spokes, and in your physical reality, that translates to what opportunities you see, what paths you see, what inspirations might come to you that will be visible to you at a certain frame rate because of your particular frequency rate in combination with the randomness of the spin, so to speak, that you are presented with in the shifting through parallel realities. Now, yes, the paradox is that the rate of spin, the rate of shift, doesn't change, but your perception of it does as you change your state of being, as you change your frequency, as you change your frame rate, to give you the ability to see the spokes at different places and moving in different directions at different times. So paradoxically, even though the rate of spin, the rate of shifting is fixed, it presents itself to you in a way that you get to alter what appears to be the frame rate, what appears to be the frequency of the spin, the rotational rate, by your vibrational state, by your state of being. Therefore, we are going to, in our meditation exercise coming up, give you a particular technique that can allow you more conscious control over your frequency, and thus, by being in a certain state, more experience of a particular frame rate or rotational rate of the spokes, the blades, or the shifting through parallel realities, so that you can begin to more consciously pick the path by your frequency that is more in alignment with who you prefer to be, and begin to really perceive synchronicity bringing you those things, and only those things, that are in alignment with that frame rate, that is the combination of the rate of the spin of the wheel and your particular frequency. So, let us do that when we have the meditation, so that you can apply this into your physical reality experience in a much more conscious way. All right, now we come to the meditation exercise based on your particular frequency with the frame rate shifting that is presented to you, so that you can experience a particular pattern, a specific pattern of where the spokes are, where the blades are, that will present itself to you through synchronicity. So become relaxed, allow yourself to breathe gently, deeply, easily, regularly. Let the cares of the day melt away. Just be here now, focused on this idea. What you will do in this exercise is you will, in a comfortable position, begin to breathe regularly, deeply, when you wish to, in your own place of comfort. And what you will do is you will allow yourself, when breathing, to feel your vibrational frequency rising. And as you do so, in your imagination, you will also hold an image of the spinning wheels. And when you, in your imagination, as you breathe, as you know you are raising your frequency, when you see the spokes of the spinning wheel or the blades freezing and appearing to not move, that is the beginning when you know you are in alignment. When it appears no longer to be moving because it is spinning at a particular rate, then you are perfectly calibrated to the idea of the frequency that will begin the exercise. Now, once you have achieved in your imagination the idea that the spoke of the wheel no longer seems to be moving because you are hitting exactly that particular frame rate as it spins, and you are seeing that spoke exactly at the same position over and over and over again in its rotation, so it appears to be not moving. Now allow yourself to adjust your breathing so that you are dialing, in a sense, your frequency up or down. It's all right if you go down a little bit, it doesn't matter. This is just for the purpose of control, the purpose of experiencing the control of dialing your frequency up and down. And when you do that, in your imagination, allow yourself to see the spoke changing its position. Backwards, forwards, doesn't matter. But allow yourself to gain some experience with just feeling your vibration going up and down, sliding up and down a little bit. Doesn't have to be large. And then allow yourself to key your imagination to it to see, even though the wheel is still spinning very quickly, to see the frame rate shifting back and forth as you perceive where that spoke is when it hits that rotation at the same time over and over again, but then starts to move a little bit in one direction because you're changing where you are perceiving the spoke back and forth. If it starts to spin a little bit, that's all right. Just let it. Again, master your breathing, bring your imagination back into focus so that you are bringing that spoke back into the position that it appears to be, not moving. But just give yourself the experience of letting the spoke appear to be in different positions back and forth for a moment. Once you have done that for a few minutes, whatever feels correct to you, bring it back into the center at the top and allow it again to appear to be frozen as you adjust your breathing, as you adjust your frequency rate so that it matches in your imagination the idea that the spoke is hitting the same point over and over again so it appears to be frozen. Now, as you begin to gain experience with this, allow yourself now in your imagination to think of and to view different circumstances and situations in your life, different opportunities, different pathways, different choices that you may make based on whatever your current situation is, if you have different choices that can be made. Allow yourself then to use the same breathing technique and allow yourself, first and foremost, to remember in your imagination when you brought that spoke back to center and it seemed to be frozen. Allow yourself now to allow different opportunities to spin before you randomly as if they are stuck to a spinning wheel. And as you now gain familiarity with what it feels like in your vibration to know when that spoke is frozen in the center, allow yourself now to superimpose in your imagination the idea of what opportunity is lining up in the same way when you achieve the same state of being that allowed you to perceive the spoke as frozen. Allow the opportunity and synchronicity to present itself to you, and allow the feeling of your vibration, allow the feeling, that sensation of passion to be there to align with it, to know that as you gain familiarity and experience with this technique, the opportunity that will be most in alignment, most synchronized with that vibrational frequency where the spoke is centered and frozen, that opportunity, that pathway, that choice will also then move and present itself exactly in the same position, unwaveringly, so that you will understand more clearly that that is the thing that represents your passion, or that is the thing that represents what you need to focus on at that moment, whether it's representative of your passion or not. It will be the thing that you need to deal with, the thing that will bring you in touch with whatever belief system you are dealing with at that moment in relation to that circumstance, in relation to that choice, that will put you squarely in touch with, here is your focus for the moment. So if it's the focus of dealing with a fear-based or negative belief system that you need to do at that moment, that is what will come up. If it is simply the idea of a choice that represents the alignment with your passion, that will come up. And this will also increase your ability to learn the discernment to tell the difference between the two. So this exercise, this meditation, will bring you into a sharper focus and bring your reality into a sharper focus, so that in combination with these two frequencies overlapping and combining, you can use this as a compass needle to bring clearly into focus what you need to deal with in any given circumstance or any given choice that may be presented to you, so that it aligns with you, it appears to be centered for you, front and center, as to what you need to deal with at that particular moment by using this particular technique based on the idea of the randomness of the spinning of the wheel, but the precision of your vibration bringing into focus exactly where that spoke in relation to you seems to be centered and unmoving. This is something you can practice on your own. Breathing, feeling your vibration rise and fall, seeing the spinning wheel and the spoke freezing, and then substituting opportunities and choices in your life so that you can know exactly more clearly what to focus on. Just practice this. You'll get better at it. It may take a little practice, but that's all right. It will be something that can really bring clarity and sharpness of focus into your life and eventually allow you to very quickly determine what it is you need to pay attention to and allow all the other things to drop away or to go into fuzziness off to the side where you are just looking at that one spoke that is there for you at that particular moment. And that's what you need to deal with. And that will keep you squarely in the present, squarely in the moment, squarely in the now. Use this permission slip technique in your own way. Allow yourself to allow your imagination to make subtle adjustments to it. But the idea can give you clarity of focus, sharpness of awareness if you continue to practice this, but we will leave that up to you. Now, the announcement that we would like to make that you can utilize now is to use this technique, and by instituting a particular image in your mind and aligning with it, bringing it into alignment just for the purpose of this particular exercise, bring into alignment, when you use this technique, the image that we have given you of what we call our phone number. A black background with a black equilateral triangle pointing upward, separated from the background by a deep blue light behind the triangle. Allow that to come into focus until it is centered and unmoving. And in that state, see if you can receive the actual title we actually have given this transmission, because there is a specific title, and we are going to play a little game and do a little exercise of interactivity to see if how many of you can pick up on the title we are actually giving this transmission. So this is a little game we will play to see how many of you, what percentage of you can actually focus into the vibration of our collective consciousness to pick up on the actual title of this transmission. So we're going to have a little fun in this interactive exercise. When you believe that you have an understanding of the title we have actually chosen, then by all means you can send in your title, your guess, so to speak, your perception, if you will, of the title we have given it, and we will then calibrate and calculate what percentage of you were able to focus on that. Now, if you don't get it, that's all right. All it takes, again, is more practice, and we will do some similar ideas and similar interactive exercises, again, to help hone these skills, hone this ability for you to really dial in to the frequencies that will deliver the information that you need at that moment. But for now, this is just for fun as an interactive exercise, just to be able for us to take a calculation and a reading on the idea of the collective vibration, where you're at, and how effective you are able to be in applying these techniques and these ideas in adjusting your frequency so that you can gain more experience in dialing in the information that you need in perfect timing through synchronicity, in aligning with other levels of your own consciousness and other consciousness such as our own. So we will look forward to receiving your particular answer as to what our title for this transmission actually is that we have already chosen. And we look forward to having more interactive fun with all of you. We thank you for allowing us to co-create with you this particular interactive meditation. We will proceed, as usual, right now, with your questions and answers that will give you more conscious control over choosing the path that is more in alignment with what you prefer to experience in your physical reality.